Hey guys, so today's video, as you can tell from the title, is a Procreate tutorial kind of thing. My top 10 tips for Procreate. I use Procreate pretty much every single day for a bunch of my commissions. And yeah, if you want to check out my Instagram to see what art I've done, I will leave it on screen and link down below. But yeah, hope you enjoy this video. If you do, please do give it a thumbs up. It helps me out a lot. Don't forget to subscribe for future Freelance Fridays, and let's get straight into the video. Firstly, I've never filmed like this, so let's hope that you can see everything. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, let me know and I'll definitely do more of these. So I am just in Procreate now. I have an iPad Pro and an Apple Pencil. I'll leave the links to both in the description and you'll be able to see the specs of them. Procreate is actually £9.99 from the App Store, and I also realised whilst researching for this video that they do a Procreate Pocket version, so for your phone, and that's £4.99. I've not tried the Pocket version, but I definitely recommend this one. So this is Procreate open on my iPad, and I thought we could talk through 10 different things that I've learned whilst using Procreate. First of all, in this top right hand corner, I'm going to open a new canvas, and I'm actually just going to go for screen size just for the purpose of this video. So it will just open up a white screen. Hopefully the reflections are okay and you can see everything. So tip number one is streamline brushes. So I originally kind of bought this iPad to try hand lettering. I'd tried it on paper and I wanted to give it a go digitally. So I have a bunch of hand lettering brushes. These all come with the Procreate app itself, and then the top two I have downloaded online. I tend to stick to this one, which is the script one. And just for demonstration purposes, this is what I have my settings on, so if you want to pause and have a look, go for it. So I'm just going to write hello to start with. This won't be the neatest thing ever, but you can see that it's quite smooth and all the lines are pretty neat, and if I wanted to change the thickness of it, you can play around with it, and it just gets fatter. I'm not the best at hand lettering, but the iPad definitely helps. And the reason for this is that I've got the streamline setting turned up. So this setting here is turned right up to 100. If I turn it down, you'll be able to see that if I write hello now, let's just get rid of those two. It's quite jittery and like I'm writing it exactly the same as I did before. But you can see that the lines are nowhere near as smooth and it's all a bit wobbly and a bit crap. So yeah, tip number one is to turn on streamline in the brushes. So this setting here, which is in stroke down at the bottom, and then I turn that up to 100 and then we'll compare, and it just makes such a big difference. So if you look at the different lines there, you can kind of tell that this one is a whole lot messier than this one. Tip number two is actually you can select colours from various photos. So using the eyedropper tool as if you're using Photoshop, you can pick up colours. So I've got this photo here, which is just from my Instagram, and say I wanted to recreate this drawing, or I really liked the colour red, all I need to do is go into a new layer, which is up here, and the plus button, and then there's a little square here in between the two sliders. If you press this, it comes up with this circle here, and if I take this over the red colour, you'll see that the top half of it is changing to whatever colour is underneath it. So all I'll do is go under there, and then now my colour up the top corner is that exact red colour that I've chosen. So if I were to do some colouring or wanted some font or whatever in that colour, again, if I type hello, or write hello should I say, it is now in that red colour. Tip number three is actually something that I use every single day in my drawings, but I'll just use this for an example now. So if I wanted to change the colour of the word hello, you can actually drag and drop colours into solid shapes. So let's say like an orange, a nice autumnal orange. If I click the colour, drag it over, it's now on my Apple Pencil, and if I put it over the exact spot, it changes the colour. And this applies to anything. So if I want to change the background, I drag the colour over and it will change the entire background, but you'll notice it doesn't fill in the different bits. The only thing I can think of to compare this to is the paint bucket tool in Microsoft Paint. Can anyone remember Microsoft Paint? that's where it all started for me. So another example of doing the fill tool or fill color tool is for drawings like this. So this is just a drawing that I have now completed, and I've just kind of stripped it back to the start, and let's say we want to colour her jumper in grey. All I do is get to grey, click the grey colour, and then drag it over her jumper, and it will colour just those bits. And again, you can just go through, so if he had brown hair, there you go, and I just kind of follow that through. So this fill tool is so handy in many situations. Tip number 4 is drawing straight lines. Now this is something I haven't used that often, but I know it could come in handy for those of you who draw maybe like buildings or architecture, anything like that. So for this, I'm just going to get up the monoline pen out of the calligraphy section and just click it to black. Ooh, sneaky tip here, if you double click in either of the corners, it'll go to pure white or pure black. There's a little bonus tip for you. So if you want to draw a straight line, it's quite difficult to try and get a straight line. Wow, that was really bad. Let's try again. Okay, that's as straight as I can get it if I hand draw it. But if you click down with the pen and start to draw and keep hold of it, it like pops up this thing which says line created, and now it's created a line for me, so I can continue using that. I generally would probably use this in the sketch tool, so again I'll show you with just the HB pencil. I love the HB pencil for drawing and shading and stuff. If I tip my pencil this way, it shades. If I tip it this way, it draws just like a pencil would. If I draw a line and hold it, it'll turn it into a straight line, and I can stretch that as long as I need it and use that. So tip number 5 is to merge layers. So I use this one quite a lot when I'm doing my illustrations, and I'm just going to draw something super simple to show you. So let's say I've drawn a bunch of flowers. I'm going to duplicate these so they'll all turn up in different layers. So now we've got a bunch of different flowers, really badly drawn flowers, I have to say. And if I actually wanted all of these to be part of the same layer, so if I select it now, it's only going to select the one that I have clicked on in the layer panel. But if I went into the layers panel and get 2 fingers like this and pinch, it will merge them all into one single layer. So if I click now, they're all fastened together. Another important tip that I keep doing, you've probably spotted this, is to undo something that I've done. So there is an undo button in this bottom corner here, but there is an easier way. So let's just colour something in, and I'm just going to do it the easy way. I'm going to use the paint tool that I showed you earlier, and we're just going to colour these in. Or of course you could do like painting. So if you wanted to get texture in, you can obviously just paint as you go. And maybe you end up doing this, like this is smudging everything. What have I done? I'm panicking, I've messed it up. Oh my god. There is an undo button here which will undo it for you. But if you get 2 fingers and just press the screen with 2 fingers, it will do that. So I find this really fluid, because as I'm drawing, I kind of have my other hand rested here ready, and if I mess up, I can instantly just get rid of it and try again. Tip number 7 is the alpha lock tool, and I've only just learnt this one myself, and I think this is going to come in so handy. So what you need to do for this one is click on the layer that you're looking at. So for me it's this one. I would like to colour in this layer, and all you do is single press it. You can press it with a pen or your finger, and there's an alpha lock button there. So once you click that, if I want to do some shading and not go outside the lines, it's going to restrict me to the outline of this drawing. So for example, let's get a simple airbrush tool up, like a nice soft one. Let's put some like blonde streaks in her hair. This is going to look so naff, but and I'll just colour in, and if I try and go outside the lines, you'll see that it's restricting me. It's not letting me go outside those lines. So the alpha lock tool is great if you want to do some shading, or for example, I do quite a lot of smudge work. If I go into the smudge tool and like blend all this in, it's not going to go outside the line of that drawing itself. By the way, if you'd like a more detailed tutorial of how I do these, so you can see me actually physically working with my hands in the shot, let me know, because I'd definitely be able to do that one for you. So tip number 8 is the 3-finger copy and paste. So this is another kind of swift shortcut to copying things. So let's get back to the naff flowers, shall we? So we're in the flowers, we're on the right layer, and all I'm going to do is swipe up with 3 fingers on the screen, and it will say cut, copy, copy all, cut and paste, or copy and paste. So in this situation I want to copy and paste, and you'll see it just kind of popped up, and then now I have 2 copies of the naff flowers. I mean, if you didn't like the flowers enough, you've now got 2 copies of them. Love it. The penultimate tip is automatic selection. So if you've accidentally drawn your flowers in the same layer and you want them all to be separate, you can select them. So this little ribbon up here, you click, and I want this one to be moved along a little bit. I want it separate. So it selects it, you press the arrow tool, and now I can move this free rein, whatever I like, play around with that. But recently I discovered that there's an automatic selection tool. So if I click the ribbon again and go down here, there's an automatic button, and I want to move this orange one. I want to make it a little bit bigger, but I can't make that one bigger without making all of them bigger because they're all on the same layer. So I'm going to click the bits I want, and it's highlighting it, and I also want the outline, and then clicking the pen tool, it's selected everything that I needed, and I can adjust and change that as I wish. So for the final and my favourite tip, which I love doing, is the time-lapse replay, and this is something you can turn on in Procreate, and it will be doing it in the background without you even realising. So up here in the settings there's a little spanner icon. If you click that, you'll see a bunch of different options. If you go over to the video section, you can see time-lapse replay, time-lapse recording, start live broadcast, export time-lapse video. So if you want your iPad to do this for you, you need to have this checked. And because I've had this checked, if I click this button, it will show me the time-lapse replay of me drawing this drawing. Let's press it together. So yeah, if you want to see the process, or you guys have seen these kind of videos before of me showing you what I do, this is how I do it, and I can just export this. It just puts it all into one quick little video, and you can see the process of your work, which I think is a really cool little feature. So there I am using the smudge tool and the alpha lock tool, and I'm kind of combining everything I've just shown you in this little tips video to create these drawings. Like I said at the beginning, let me know if you'd like me to do a more in-depth tutorial on how I draw these drawings in particular. Let me know if you've liked this video. Please do give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you have enjoyed it. And yeah, I'll see you soon for another one.